Aloha, everyone. Sometimes I'm early and sometimes I'm late. This is Jason Schwartz here in the Neutral Zone. How are you today? September 25th, 2023. Today is Yom Kippur. Shana Tova to all the Jews out there. That means happy holiday. You can hear Gut Yontov. That means happy holiday too. Yom Kippur is a very important day in the year for the Jews. In fact, I'm going to give you a quickie. Many people have heard it through the years. They heard Rosh Hashanah, and they know about the blowing of the horn, the ram's horn, shofar. But Yom Kippur is a holiday. They call it, some Jews call it the Day of Atonement. I want to say some Jews call it the Day of At-One-ment. That's more like where I sit in. But what it is Saturday night was the beginning of Yom Kippur. They say a chance to wipe clean the slate of your wrongdoings from the past year. Personally, I'm glad God forgives you. I'm not sure if I do yet for the things you've done, world, or me looking at myself. I think it's quite a thing to sit back and reflect about what you've done over the last year, to say, what have I done that I would like an apology be given? What have I done that might have hurt someone, or said something to hurt someone, or done something that wasn't pono, we say, right? Huh? We were supposed to have a guest today, and in fact, just so you know what do they say, full disclosure, I invited Keamoku Kapu, Hawaiian leader living in Lahaina, again, involved with the Hawaiian Council, and people consider him quite a leader, and he is. And then I also invited John Pelletier, our chief of police, but neither of them got back to me. So I asked my friend Scott, who was on last week, if he could make it, but it was too short notice. So I thought, I think today's a good day to kind of explain what the transitions we're in. Thank you for joining us. I hope you'll be with us here. I'm going to be treating today more like a radio show, in that I'm not speaking to a guest here. Sometimes we'll do them on Zoom. We're going to be renaming this whole thing to a name that some of you know for a lot of years. It's called Mama Presents. Mama, Maui Arts and Music Association, presents Maui, Maui's art, Maui's cultural arts, Maui's visual arts, its healing, and also music, Hawaiian music, other music, art and music. By showcasing art and music and raising awareness about environmental solutions that we might implement on Maui through the sale of music, whether it be online sale of music or shows or whatever might be created, not only by us, but by others in this way of thinking. We'll be giving money towards supplement development of these technologies that we're talking about. And some of them are very timely. And I'm going to spend some time today. The reason we're changing the name of the show here to Mama Presents is I can do a Maui Neutral Zone segment, but we want to bring in more music and more art. We have a television, however you want to call it, media studio here, but this is radio studio. And less than 100 feet away is a television studio. So we consider television and radio is now integrated, and they think of that here too. They're thinking in the future, as they build up what you now can find online. You can find these television stations here, or media stations, online under Maui Stream, their own application, or you can go with all these radio and TV apps and find Akaku, Maui Community Media, or KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. But this Maui Stream, as the future will go and things are going to be changing, I think it's the future, and we are going to have a channel there, a line item, if you will, in the Maui Stream. And I want it to be Maui Arts and Music Association. And the things that we do here, which are more social You could call them political, but they're pretty wide social programs, way of doing things. You hear me talking and bringing guests on about environment and different specific things I'll talk about. And you've seen me bring some musician people and some arts, but we're going to be tying it more together. This is a simulcast, and we hope that when Monday at 11 a.m. Hawaii time comes, you'll check in with us, sort of like a directory of the other kind of programming that we're going to be developing and have been developing, but in developing and put on our station, not only on the internet and YouTube and all that, but on our place in the Maui stream, because that's my whole point, is how do we focus the world on Maui and what we're doing on Maui that can be an example to the world. Music and art, people say, well, how are you going to do shows? You've never done shows. What's your track record? Well, never mind that I've been doing this, and although I haven't been paid, I've been doing this for 30 years. For someone to think that what I've been doing here has no value is like discounting what I'm doing down to a checkbook and money. Well, we all need money. I need money. You need money. And David Packman, the Pacifica guy, he needs money. He does great. And you're welcome to send money. That's great. But that is not the purpose of this. This purpose is to show a new concept. We can deliver value. People's art and music and live shows are a great example. And out of that, regular proceeds that come that supplement the development of things we can implement here. And have the world come here and say, wow, I want to take that technology, not only the products that you have here, but I want to take that technology home and share it, because you're an example to the world at a time when the world needs an example. And although Maui's been a #1 travel destination, we have been backward and absurd about not getting ahead of the game in environmental solutions. We're one of the big groups doing solar across the country, but solar, I was one of them. I'm the one advocating solar since I got here. You can hear my stories on different broadcasts. But right now, Mama presents to the world, and that's all of you here. I'm not presenting only me. I'm presenting you and who and what we are. We're Maui strong. This hurricane and this resulting wildfire or whatever thing, however it got created, has created a real big need to reevaluate what we're doing here. I have a friend, I'm going to get to it here later in the show. I have a friend named Michael Smith. I'm happy to say he's a friend. He was the main focus of the movie The Need to Grow, which many of you have seen, many of you haven't. You can see it out there. 25 million people have seen this movie through all kinds of networks, Food Revolution Network, all kinds of different practitioners have been given free samples of this movie, plus it's out there. And it is awesome. And anyway, but Michael has a process and a whole system of integrated resource use. Even got into conversation when he was here with our mayor, Rick Bisson. Now, again, when I call these people the mayor, I call the governor, Josh Green. I've been talking about these things for a long time, but somehow they think of me as the frolicking, happy news guy. Well, this news guy is trying to put programs together and get them to take seriously things I've been sharing on this show and others over the years. Michael Smith's program right now, they have ways of helping to get rid of and process some of the waste from this horrible disaster in Lahaina. And the federal government is now paying 100% of the cleanup cost. So I want to bring out to our audience, whoever may know how to, please be in touch with me, because we need to present. I will present with Michael. Michael already talked to someone at the governor's office, but I need some help here. So I'm asking you, the public, who knows how to and where to get me audience, to show a technology to be able to clean up a lot of that waste with money coming from the federal government to be able to develop these important technologies right here, right now. These technologies are proven technologies. And again, I don't want to go off on too much of a tangent. Anyway, that was what I did with the opening of Yom Kippur. May it be a day of attunement and atonement and at one-ment so that we can all come together and move forward together. If you have money and you got more money than you know what to do with, we know what to do with it. You know, if you don't add greed into the picture and you be able to take money and turn it into jobs and turn it into employing people in things they're doing now, but getting it promoted to the world and seeing this unique interaction that can go on, not for an acute problem, although that's great. Henry Capono and the group did their big concert to raise money for the short-term problems. We need that for Lahaina. We need that. But all of Maui and the whole world can benefit by sharing and raising the Hawaiian culture through this long-term program and implementing environmental solutions right here, right now, get rid of their waste, take benefit of money being provided by the federal government through this disaster. Again, some of these ideas take a little bit of sanding, but many of them are well sanded. Like here, the sugar mill. Now, that was a property, everyone knows the Punene sugar mill that closed down, sitting there, and I want to say rotting. It's rusting, you know. It's there, and it hasn't been in use now for some years, and there was a buyer, and they were going to turn it into a multimedia thing with all kinds of things. But then there was a condition of sale that the seller needed to provide some report, and they weren't willing to pay that big number. Well, you know what happened? That sale may have gone away, but that creates a new, incredible possibility. So again, I can't explain it all here, but imagine if for $12 million, that's you and me, that's this Maui Arts and Music, this independent thing, this foundation, people aligned in positive action, money that came from promoting and enjoying art and music and culture, the whole world. We get this money, have a location, can demonstrate and showcase and create from there, taking our green waste and turning it into a fuel and turning it into biochar and stimulants for greater growing and be able to hold carbon in our soil and break down our earth that normally takes millions of years in just a few years. We're talking about an extraordinary thing to showcase to the world, and it can happen through promoting art and music from our island. Now, someone said to me this morning, Jason, you have to do something to make money now. I'm hoping our audiences hear that this is valuable and contribute to our welfare. Because those that know that over time, the reason that we don't have money, me have money, is because I've been giving and helping and trusting. Well, now people with no trust can see opportunity, big opportunities, and make this happen. But, you know, we have to have communication between the technology and the governor's office and the governor talking to the mayor. And we have to have, you know, we did this test. I didn't do it. I watched as $50,000, which was not really enough, went to creating a test of using the output, this green slime, green, that comes from the process that we were talking about with Michael Smith and Regenitech and this green powerhouse. Earth Power Lodge is the new incarnation. Check out regenitech.earth. See what you see. See what I'm talking about. See, this is not about me. It's about the technologies that I'm bringing forward. I need public support behind me so that when I go and talk to someone about it, they don't just not call me back because they don't need to get on the media and they don't have anything they need to say to me. But we're doing important things for you, the public. You, the public, all over the world. You know, I'm looking at the light thinking it's the camera. These glasses, they'll come in handy one day. Anyway, I'm going to take things as best I can, step by step, because I want you to hear it again. I'll try to make it short and sweet, although I've not been short and sweet. And I'm not going to give you history. Right now, at MauiArtsAndMusic.org is a thing. I paid money. I borrowed money from the SBA to pay a guy in India at a rate that I don't think he lived up to, but to get me a website that had to stop in the middle because I didn't have any more money. So you'll see that this has things that could be made better and completed by people in this audience who know how, who have the capacity and the capability to help make this better. Come forward, please. If you're, by the way, if you want to call us, if you're on TV, you can see that 808-873-3435. 808-873-3435. We are a call-in talk show, and we had one call from the first time I announced that from the wife of my guest, and she was a great addition. D.C. Cordoba, who teaches Money and You, took over the teachings and work from Buckminster Fuller, and Chris Menzel. These are great people that have great things to contribute. Imagine if the world learns to coordinate these great people in a way that can help support and grow what we want to do here on Maui. Wouldn't that be exciting? Yes, it would be exciting. It is exciting. But because we're on public access, we don't know how many eyeballs are watching this. We don't know on radio how many ears are hearing this. So if you want to call in, you're welcome to. 808-873-3435. I may not see your light going off when you call because I've got to turn this way. So we'll figure it out. If I had a guest, I'd see it, but maybe not now. But anyway, Maui Arts and Music Association. The menu at the top is actually under a button. You have to hit the button, and then it'll say home, about us, art, music, culture, environment, get involved, video, contact us. Under music, it has music showcases. Under culture, it talks about the Hawaiian culture, other culture, environment, hydrogen and HHO, water from air, soil regeneration, plants and power. We're talking about things that are going to make a difference in the future of Maui. Taking the wise from the Hawaiiana culture and from all the other cultures, but we have a beautiful, healthy, original culture that was here for many, many, many hundreds of years and then got uprooted through, we know that story. But that doesn't mean we can't, whoever is this kingdom here, USA, or whether it be the Kingdom of Hawaii, we want to do things that are good for all the people, all the time. And that's what we're promoting here. So you go under all these categories and you look, you're going to see some amazing things. You're going to see the things that I'm talking about on these shows. And sometimes I keep thinking that the website was going to do the talking, and maybe so, but if you don't have eyeballs there, you don't have anything, right? So who knows? The next page to go to, which some of you do, is MauiNeutralZone.com. MauiNeutralZone.com is actually where I was going to be originally doing interviews for political in 2018. But I'm glad we switched to values, because we can interview politicians, but politics is not what I'm about. And if someone's here and they're a political person, we don't want to confuse the issue with anything political. Whether you're a Trumpian, or you like Biden, or you don't like any of them, or you're green and you're going for Cornel West, God knows where you are in the political spectrum. Good things, smart things that make sense is where we can come together. And when things don't make economic sense in the very moment, those with money and vision that see that markets are growing exponentially because of what's going on in the world can be supportive of what we're doing now. If you have millions, we can give millions here, and we will support the long-term solutions of Lahaina and Maui and the world through what we're doing. You know, when Michael Smith was talking about linking these Earth Power Lodges, wait till you see this stuff at Regenitech. Look at regenitech.earth. You are going to see things that make your heart soar in knowing that we already have down-to-earth solutions available, that we can get water from the air. I'm in a men's group, and one of the guys mentioned that his wife is suddenly working with a company to bring water from the air. What I'm in discovery of is that there are a couple of companies, there are all kinds of technologies to bring this stuff here now. There are people doing greening of agriculture in different kinds of ways and using HHO hydrogen to solve major things. They're working on plasma and health solutions. If you look at our website, you're going to see that's where we're at. We're over the horizon. We're looking into the future to see, you know, Elon Musk did it, and so he decided he'd find the money and do electric cars and electric batteries. And that's where things are. And many of us know that the future takes, I don't even think of it as a risk. I like to think of it as people that know that what they have here is a product of what came before. And if we see things going on that can make things better, and we can make things better in different ways, we have to voice it. Whether there's money in it now or not, some people know there is a need to promote this and get more people to hear it. And not because you've got some marketing group paying and doing it, because you want to share. You want to share. You know, I've had support over the years from very few people. And right now, when I think about sharing, I think about Richard Dan, Kama Ein Alone, Cash for Gold. I think of him as the king of Market Street, but that's probably not fair. You know, he gave me a few $100s a few times to a supporter of our shows, and I haven't been going out, but we need new sponsors, so don't be afraid to be in touch. But he's been a strong supporter all these years. I look at Maui, Nokaoi Car Rentals, and they also sell cars. Another longtime supporter. People that have seen me carrying this torch through thick and thin. You know, I got involved in politics a couple of times. Many of the people that know me and that see that have died. You know, this has taken quite a long. I didn't particularly want to live my whole life and now walk with a cane and wear thick glasses and not be able to hear and be the DJ. What's that? But here I am. I am going to put this message out, and I'm going to put this message out looking for you. You means you out there. I keep looking at the light. You out there who know that through your help, this thing could be elevated to a new level. Whether you live here on Maui, whether you don't, whether your name is Oprah or The Rock. I know your name isn't The Rock, Dwayne. But, you know, when you ask money from people, maybe you want to ask from the little guy. But if you ask from the big guy, people you know in the industry, you might have raised $100 million or $1 billion already. And then put things to work in a totally different way. I open the opportunity for you to talk to me. I'll show you some projects that we can work on. I'll show you projects that can make sense and trump, God, I don't like using that word, that can trump all the other things going on, because we will bring people hope that those that have are using to give back in a big way. In the music industry, you know, there are people that have been talking about, what, Jason, you talk about music, there are all kinds of things going on. Let's say I want to do a tribute. Let's say we want to do a tribute to Billy Joel and Elton John and Neil Diamond. I'm picking those three only because, you know, there are tributes, but there's tributes that I can sing some of the songs. And there are many people on Maui that can do a lot of things with these artists. Do these artists not want to be the focus of a tribute? Maybe even come here to Maui. More than maybe. Come here and be part of a global effort to promote the music and the art of our times and the contributions of what these people have given to elevate our culture and to elevate, and we honoring them and supporting a renaissance in the notion that art and music can be put into physical solutions right now in a way bigger way. And we can be an example that becomes a beacon and gets spread around the world, so that just like Michael's Earth Power Lodges, right? Just like the visions we have of all of us holding hands together on so many issues, we can solve these problems. And yeah, I don't believe for a second that I can solve problems for war. You and I know that people fight over things that are very important to them personally, but our culture and our world is getting destroyed because we want to break us down into separate when we all are one, at one. Isn't that a lesson that we've learned spiritually, no matter what religions or non-religions we've been involved with? We don't realize yet. Maybe years ago, before there was such great media, people thought separate. But you can't help but, in researching, find that the available truth can come to you. That all the important things of religions are the same. All the important life qualities that make you human, that touch your heart, that touch other hearts, the thing to help, all that transcends all these differences. And so that's what we stand for. We stand for peace, and we stand for the use sounds like I'm using to abuse, the use of things we already know and love to attract people to focus, use our opinion leaders to point out things that we need to learn and grow as a society. And do those things, in our example, right here on Maui. So if you're Mayor Bisson, or anyone that works for them, works for our mayor, or works for our governor, or has an agency that can do something a little bit better, or you are involved in some way in anything, let's put a spin on it and make it better by helping each other. You know, when you go to MauiNeutralZone.com, if you scroll down past the front section, you'll see there's a spot to enter a keyword or categories. Not only is Maui Neutral Zone here, Mama Presents, all our old shows and new shows will be there. Ariel's World, live at 5 when we were doing shows here together with actually program manager Dana Fulton. She was great fun to co-host with and work with. I did some work with Jim Kimmel. I wish it was late night guy Jimmy Kimmel as well, but Reverend Jim Kimmel and the Arancha book, we had some really good dialogues. You'll find that stuff. And we have an archive of all kinds of shows sharing beautiful and different events. I think I mentioned that there are other videographers that I'd like to be able to contribute to this spot, the history of what we've got going on Maui over the last years. Akaku has done their part, but these musicians and artists have done their part, and cultural events, and all of us can be showcased through Mama Presents. And all the different groups, we want to be able to point them out and show them for the glory of who they are, and not take away their light, but put it in the light and showcase the great work they're doing. And keep coming back to that important thing, that we work together, that we care about each other. You know, some people here have told me that with this Lahaina problem, that still, right now, that delivery of food and supplies has been needed way more than we're seeing from FEMA, way more than we're seeing from state agencies, and that we need way more help, and we need way more. All of Maui needs way more. So does the world. Well, let's focus on the great things that we can do and implement here. So take a look at my shows. I'm not going to name names in this show, but I'm going to mention again Regenitech, REGENITECH.com. Go there. Take a look at what it means. What is a green powerhouse? Have we seen the need to grow? Do we think it's possible that there's a way to take our waste, our green waste, and because we're able to take an algae and process it and create a biofuel, that means a fuel made out of things from our earth here, okay? And that fuel can run a jet engine and I keep saying burn, pyrolyze, that means raise the temperature without adding oxygen and siphon off or whatever processes different phytochemicals, phyto meaning plant, ceuticals, things that have value in the marketplace. And right now, in a couple of years, one of these plants, based on what it can do, can pay off in a couple of years and be a profit center. But what happens if we put that back in and create more and create more? We can be totally self-sufficient of our water, of our power. What? Water? Yeah. If we can create water from air and we find ways to generate and change, what if we can take salt water, radiated water, and make it usable? What if we found ways? Well, that's what we're talking about. You know, maybe because it's so much that you just don't hear it. But there are so many solutions that we have that if we look at all the pieces together and we put them together here and can showcase them, like I say, right there, if you get a group that works with me and we buy the 300 acres and the sugar mill and be able to showcase what we can do with fuel right there to the world and sell that product and in some ways franchise it all over the world. It's not really franchise exactly, but what are we doing? We are making a difference. We are putting carbon back in the earth. We're saving our own lives. You know, see why musicians are so valuable? There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world comes together as one, at one-ment. There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. See why we want to honor musicians? Billy Joel, Elton John, Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, Lady Gaga, Madonna, Styx, Stones, Beatles, Fleetwood, McDonald's? No, McDonald's you could play too. But I know that if we do this right, we can do it and have fun doing it, not analyze it so hard to see if it makes economic sense in the moment. Were we making economic sense when the government says we're going to pay for all the cleanup of 5 square miles of Lahaina? No, they're paying for what they know they need to do. And what if we can direct, not redirect, there it is, direct some of that money to what we need to do to show off ways to recycle what is clearly and appears to be waste, radioactive waste, all kinds of things that are waste. And we can do these things on our island, and we can create jobs, and we can create jobs in music and art. You know, when people see what we're doing, We're going to be using them. We are not creating things anew. We're bringing new technologies and bringing them to them. They're the ones that are going to be doing the work. If we bring water from air and we need plumbing, we're not bringing our own people. We're using the people that we have here in a different and better way. What if there's suddenly a service business on things that get created, things that can happen in such a gigantic way here because we have the world's attention. And we don't know for how long, but right now is the thing that we say, strike while the iron is hot. It isn't even strike. It's like, wake up, share this show, share what we're doing with a friend. If you have a few dollars, think about where you might send them, to whomever and to us, because we're going to be implementing solutions. We're going to be getting more people to hear about what we're doing, getting more people involved that aren't on Maui. And the people on Maui, you're going to see them. I keep showing them, and all the things that are happening here at this television and radio station, and the spirit for helping our island is off the charts from our group. So if you have that spirit, please come forward. Please come forward. You know, there's a website that went up recently from Regenitech, regenitech.earth. I think Michael did a really interesting and good job sharing what this technology is about, how does it work, what does it mean, what steps if you want to be involved wherever you might be in the world. You know, let them know you saw it on my show. Please tell them you saw it on Jason's show here on Maui. Tell them you saw it on the Neutral Zone. Tell them you saw it because you saw an interview of one of the people on our show and you got inspired. Well, that won't do anything for our pocket. You know what that'll do? That'll get them to know that we, the network, are a valuable part of their network. And we are going to, our goal right here is to be the first fully functional Earth Power Lodge that the whole world can see that isn't in Montana. They can stay at the resorts here. They can stay at all kinds of different accommodations here. They can see how we build and rebuild and build better our beautiful island home. And Hawaiians, please don't feel like I'm leaving you out. I want you front and center. I called and asked Keamoku Kapu here because I respect him. He's been an incredible advocate for the Hawaiian people, and there are many of them. And sometimes, you know, they may or may not think that there are others around who really want to help them accomplish their goal. Well, short of revolution, which I don't want anything that's going to cause, you know, fighting. I like the fact that they strike in Hollywood, which, if we're lucky, God willing, is almost over, can, without firing weapons, people can talk and arbitrate and come to solutions that are better for everyone and honor the important things that we all have to say. So, and, you know, interesting that I also asked John Pelletier, our chief of police here. I do a different kind of interview than some. Some say sometimes a little too friendly. You more let them speak their piece about something we don't agree with, or what. Well, isn't that the job of what media should be doing, letting someone have a space to speak their piece? I can judge and give you my opinions, but that isn't my role. You know, I look at the clock and I say, we have 17 minutes to go. I often think that I could keep talking. As I hear this, I'm hearing, God, Jason, you're a run-on about this. Well, I've been running on about this a long time, and it's clear that we need little shorter bits. I'm going to be doing an interview of Michael Smith here very soon, so you'll be able to hear it again and Michael's going to do a slide presentation. So it's going to be a TV show, like a Zoom call and showcase, more than it's going to be a radio show. But every audience is going to have opportunity to hear what we're all going to say. And we're looking for supporters. Supporters, yeah, that means money. It might mean land, but when you see what's happening now, those with big money wave it around, and then we wait while different groups deliver, and takes a lot of money to deliver the things that many of us think need to be delivered. So, like I say, I find it very challenging. It's nice that we have federal emergency management, and they help the people that were directly involved with the fire in Lahaina and Kula. But there are many, many, many people that are being affected. Maybe their work was there. Oh, well, maybe that qualifies them. But what about the people that are homeless here already? Are we just going to forget about them? Are we not going to get them houses because we don't have enough houses? What are we doing? We're bringing in and helping only some segments of those that don't have. We're going to sectionalize our people. We need some interesting and powerful solutions. I would like to get a chance to sit some of our great thinkers with some of these groups, governments that seem to want to move forward. I think they have all the answers all buttoned up, or that they're looking for answers on some things. Well, come to me. Please come to me. I've been trying to talk to you for 30 years. And some of you I've talked to, and then you get into your positions of power, and suddenly, what, are you handcuffed? Well, again, Roger Dubin was handcuffed when he became the head of the Visitors Bureau, when he had to unravel promises he made to me that were going to help showcase this whole idea 30 years ago. Well, now we're factory direct to you, the public. Thank you, KAKU and Akaku, for giving me a place to sit. But we are direct to you, the public. And the more we share this with each other, the more opportunity to have this be successful. If not, I'll just be an old happy man talking about these pipe dreams. But these aren't pipe dreams that don't have substance. The substance is you. Got that? The substance for all of this is you. There are agencies on Maui and individuals on Maui doing the things that need to be done. But we need different things to do more, and to bring revenue that we can't support alone and shouldn't be supporting alone. Let the world, through them enjoying our art and music and culture, whether they put their feet on Maui or not, help us pay to put these solutions here. That's worthy of holding my ground and having these shows. And although I haven't been paid, I challenge the people that have told me, Jason, give it up. You have no money. You see that people aren't cooperating, and you're talking to nobody. You're not nobody. You are the audience of people that can make the difference. And not only for this show. These ideas that I have aren't unique. But what if we bond together and put it out to the world, and put it out through, when we do testimonial for Elton John and Neil Diamond, the world wants to see that. They want to see the kind of things that are happening in this little island. Why? Because we are marrying up the things that people want with the things that we want. Solutions to, whether it's a playground for the kids. These ideas of mine are old. And where did this all come from? I laugh. When I spoke to Pundi Yokouchi, who many of you only know as the statue, some of you who watch my shows know that I never knew Pundi until he called me after I booked the opening of the Cultural Center's New Year's Eve. And then I told him my plan, and he said, wow, good idea. And he saw me piecing together this puzzle way back when. And he saw that I was getting ready to go out and get sponsors. And he was right there at the core of what could be. And then he had a stroke. And I already found that I have not had the local support for whatever reason. Maybe people don't really understand me and what I have to offer in this. Don't understand me, understand these things that I'm showcasing all these years. Some of them are new technologies and some of them are you people. There are great people here. And I look forward to seeing many more of them, both on my show and meeting them, who step up and help make important things happen. If Oprah and The Rock had given $10 million to us, we would be doing what? We'd be building an Earth Power Lodge. We'd be bringing units here and putting them in position and bringing water from air, creating things that will showcase. And those kind of things still can happen. Those kind of things still will happen with your involvement. Like I say, I feel like I'm a run-on today because we have no guests, but I'm going to keep going back to these themes. No matter if we do music in the other room and we bring in all kinds of musicians. You know, we've lost a lot of musicians here that were my friends that have died, that I never got a chance. I sang a little bit here and there with Tashambi, but, you know, there are people here that are no longer here that were great musicians and great people. You know, there are still people here that Lenny Castellanos and Paul Marchetti, who knows, bass player and drummer playing around here with Mick Fleetwood. They remember from way back. And all kinds of people here. Lona, who's over on Molokai, teaching what he does. He was my beautiful friend and still is. But when he was here, I always felt like I had a place where I could get on stage. I could still continue doing the other things I do, and which was public service. Doing these shows on Akaku feels like forever. Since way back, even before Hector was a pup for you old people. When Akaku started to be around here, knowing that public access offers potential. It doesn't offer a solution. Just because we have social media doesn't mean we have all people using it and cooperating with each other and helping each other. You probably know how social media is a weapon. It may be a tool to do things in a positive and powerful way, but it's been used as a weapon and been divisive so many times in so many ways. We are at a crossroads in this country, in this world. We have to actively do things differently. That means if you like anything I've said, please share it. And if you find ways to help us, money or otherwise, or you can help us with these tasks to get the message out better, come forward, please. To me and others that you see that are involved in this vision, a vision of cooperation. You know that thing about we are the leaders that we have been waiting for? But we are the leaders. We are the ones that stand up and say, I'm Greta Thunberg. I'm a little girl from Sweden. And she's not a humble little young woman. People like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, whether she's qualified or not, some people and what they agreed, what bravery these people have to step out and speak their word. Now, some people think I'm brave, especially when I've been talking about this for so many years and it doesn't seem like I've moved the needle very much. Some people tell me that isn't true, but I expected much more of our Maui community when it comes to integrating and doing these solutions. I expected big, deep pocket money to come forward before they get so old that they die and change the way they do business. Do things that are of public service in a bigger way. When you have enough money to be a bank and you can create the financing to create the construction of unique and individual new communities and structures in new ways, come forward. Come be part of the greater consciousness that now was a dream. You, Jeff Bezos, had a dream, and here you are. You implemented it, and now you get money from almost every transaction in the world. And you're the rich guy. And, you know, a guy like Elon Musk, no matter what his political persuasions, people that are out there on the edge cutting new roads need to be supported, especially when those roads are to save our own lives. You know, whether people believe in climate change or not, they see changes happening, and they know that there needs to be solutions. Whether they want to say there is no climate change, that's what the earth is doing, and it will continue doing this whether or not we help through these solutions or not. Well, what about comfort of life? Anyway, this is really funny. I feel like I forgot what that guy's name. He was the Saturday night guy. We used to listen to his Saturday Night Home Companion, where he'd get off on some subject and just keep talking. I'm tired of talking about this stuff. I'm really tired of talking about this stuff. But I have no guest today, and, you know, it's a Day of Atonement. And a Day of Atonement means Day of At-One-ment for me. You know, many Jews would say, you did a show on the holiest day of the year, Yom Kippur? Yeah. I'm here to let the world know that I'm sorry that I haven't delivered this message better. I'm sorry that I haven't moved you to action on things that I hold deep in my heart. I'm sorry that you haven't moved forward yet in things that we're talking about. But I know it isn't too late, because we're still breathing. You know, next week is a more conventional week. I think next week I have a gentleman, again, who I met here on Maui, who I've always thought of as a champion. And I've watched his life change, him and his wife, and now he's running a halfway house, I want to call it, a bridge. A bridge of what? Of little kids, little teenagers, little kids, who need a place to get away to transition, a youth center that is being supported. And that's because another great leader and leaders in our community who had money put their money where their mouth is, went through the process of the slow journey here in Maui. Yeah, an expensive, long process to get a building converted. It was the Maui Visitors Bureau, but then someone bought the building and is changing it into a facility as like a place until they can help these kids get into the next thing after all kinds of issues just happening, and you'll hear more about it. But that's just an example of something in this net that is our people aligned in positive action, our Papa. It's just a visual idea. Mama, Maui Arts and Music Association, visual, healing, creative arts, solutions for environment. These are just brands branded under Mama and Papa and the Dream Makers Foundation. We, all people, make our dreams come true. We have a vision, we take action, we work together. Well, let's make this Maui-centric. Let's have this horrible fire in Lahaina and the things that are happening from it be that catalyst to see us rise up and be the leaders for the world across many dimensions of our economy and our environment. Let us bring those that want to make money ways to make money, helping us help everyone. Please share this with people you know and love. Share this show, share who and what we are and what we do, and that they need to be part of this because this is them. It's been waiting for them to put out their best. MauiNeutralZone.com, MauiArtsAndMusic.org, Regenitech.earth, Regenitech.com. You know, we only have an hour and a minute and 15 seconds. You know, we are so fortunate to have this free public access. I salute KAKU Radio, 88.5 FM for giving us this space and time. And Akaku, Maui Community Media, not only for their help in keeping this alive in our hearts and giving me this opportunity to share, and all my guests the opportunity to share, but keeping the idea that the world can be a better place because all of us stay active and are active in finding solutions and work together and growing together. And the roadblocks that we see and that we think are here really aren't here anymore. We make the difference. We stand up against that challenge. 21 seconds. Isn't that amazing? I didn't get too much air in there. I'm going to take some air here in a minute. But we're going to check out and let you hear our Maui Neutral Zone theme. You know, we are there. Thank you for joining us today. Aloha.